I ain't gonna lie, man. When I saw this video pop up and I looked at the thumbnail, he kind of looked like Eazy-E in this, and then the title of the song, it kind of makes sense, kind of coincide a little bit. Today we're bringing that DJ Quik, Jus Lyke Compton. And I already know they're gonna block this video, so I'm not even gonna blur it out or anything. Y'all just gonna see it whenever y'all see it, man. Let's go ahead and get straight into it, baby.
Finally got a chance to leave the CPT, off to other cities to trip. No longer just an underground hit, moving things. A local brother made good. I made a name off of making tapes for homies in the hood. And now, let me tell a little story about the places that I've been to and the things that I've been through. Like fighting in shootouts and banging and trip. All because I came out with a hit. Check it. 1991, while everybody else was smoking a split, I was thinking of the funky hits about hoochies and players and getting drunk and off that bud. I was doing the things they hadn't heard of. But foolish was I to think that it wasn't no other cities like this, and they didn't like this. That Compton was the home of the gangster class, where you got blessed, and now that's just a thing of the past. Let me tell you our firsthand. We did a show up in Oakland, and brothers was kicking up sand. To them, banging ain't nothing new, and slanging ain't nothing new. And for every sucker we done shot, they done shot too.
Oh, for every sucker we done shot, they done shot too.
We did a show up in Oakland, and brothers was kicking up sand. To them, banging ain't nothing new, and slanging ain't nothing new. And for every sucker we done shot, they done shot too. Straight doing low since the 60s, before I was born. Families of hard heads mourn. So I'm just letting you know that if you plan to take a trip to the Bay, keep your hand on your clip, because Oakland
it's just like Compton.
Yeah, I'm telling y'all Oakland
It's just like Compton.
Moving on to St. Louis, where they think they be bumping with gold teeth in their mouth, but they still know what's up. In the summer it's kinda hot, hot enough to make you cuss, and that's why I stayed on the bus. But later on, when it cooled off, we came down and made a couple of friends who put us up on the St. Louis cap, the Smith Center, with Big Bob, Little Steve, Joe, Vince, and Rich, and a couple of hoochies. Then they took us to a man named Gus. In his store, he put me down with a herringbone and shoes galore. That's when I started thinking that.
Is St. Louis like the murder capital right now? Can y'all let me know that in the comment section? But one thing about it, you can't underestimate nowhere you go. People be like, this place dangerous, this place dangerous. It don't matter where you go. It's at least one person there who's like that. So you just got to move with your head on a swivel everywhere, even in places you think that ain't safe, because it could happen anywhere, for real.
Gus in his store, he put me down with a herringbone and shoes galore. That's when I started thinking that this wasn't like home, but then they had to prove me wrong. Cause later that night, after we did the show, we went back to the after set. And wouldn't you know, yeah, Bloods and Crips start scrapping and shooting in Missouri. Damn, how could this happen? Now St. Louis
It's just like Compton.
Yeah, y'all, St. Louis
We made it just like Compton.
I don't think they know. They too crazy for their own good. They need to stop watching that Colors and Boys in the Hood. Too busy claiming 60s, trying to be raw and never even seen the show. But now back to the story that I'm telling. We packed up the tour bus one more time and started bailing. When we arrived, I saw red and blue sweatsuits when I'm thinking about horse duty and cowboy boots. I guess Texas ain't no different from the rest, and San Antonio was just waiting to put us to the test. And before it was over, the show got deep. A fool got shot in the face and was dead in the street. Then they came in the club.
Why?
From the rest, and San Antonio was just waiting to put us to the test. And before it was over, the show got deep. A fool got shot in the face and was dead in the street. Then they came in the club thinking of scrapping. Little did they know that we was packing. Yeah, we was putting them down and scaring the rest. Yo, I even had to wear the bulletproof vest. Now San Antonio
It's just like Compton.
Yeah, y'all, San Antonio.
I ain't gonna lie, they doing that in Texas. I know now. Texas gun laws and just justice in general is insane. They wouldn't be able to pull that off now. Even then, I don't know, but goodness gracious, dude. It's crazy to think that people really do fight and argue and shoot each other over colors, bro. Like, it's not even that deep, because once you in a casket, bro, nobody's gonna remember that, honestly. I'm just saying.
It's just like Compton.
Yeah, y'all, San Antonio.
It's just like Compton.
After about a month on the road, we came home, and I can safely say that LA is a much better place to stay. How could a bunch of suckers in a town like this have such a big influence on brothers so far away? But still my story ain't over, cause I got one more to tell, and the people of Colorado, they know it well. It was all in the news, and if you don't remember, I had the show I did in Denver. With a first time promoter, it was done in a skating rink. Hoochies was loving us, but suckers was ready to bust. To the front of the stage, they threw their gang signs. But I'm getting paid, so I didn't pay it no mind. Then I put out my brew onto their face and chest. Then they start throwing soda and messing up my guests. When it was over, 2 suckers needed stitches. Got cracked in their jaws for being nothing but snitches.
It's just like Compton.
Yeah, y'all, Denver.
They wanna be like Compton.
And you know that,
It's just like Compton.
yeah, St. Louis.
We made it just like Compton.
We made it just like Compton. It's
San
crazy.
Antonio.
It's just like Compton.
Yeah, y'all, Denver.
They wanna be like Compton.
I thought you knew.
I ain't gonna lie. That little voice kind of sent at me, man. I cannot lie. But, man, I like the little story time. I wonder if this true. I don't know. DJ Quik just kind of like the person who probably was telling a true story, but you never know. I bet being from these places too during this time, and you hear this song, you probably just like, damn. Just amazing to, be heard on a track like this. And this has like, 6 million views. So I bet everybody was just turning up to this. No cap. But remember, no matter where you go, people gonna test you. Everywhere is dangerous. You got to think like that. And you got to move with your head on the swivel for sure. But it's crazy to see the influence that each place has everywhere. Like you see Chicago now has an influence everywhere. California, of course, Florida is just different influence, different culture everywhere. So it's just crazy to see everything, how it plays out. But this is a banger song. Shout out to DJ Quik. Your boy Stacks out of here. Deuces.